and welcome to My Thing, Your Thing. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! This is our Christmas episode. This is the only Christmas episode we're doing.
Oh, is the only Christmas episode we're doing?
Yeah, I wanted to come up with something for me to do for Christmas, but I can't think of anything.
There's not like a random TV special or something like that you used to watch a lot as a kid?
No, not really.
You don't want to do any of the what are they? The Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movies? Who are those guys?
Rankin Bass.
Rankin Bass. We talk about them all the time.
Yeah, I just didn't really have any idea.
That's fair. Anyway, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
This is our Christmas episode, and we're doing a Muppet Christmas Carol.
Hooray!
Hooray!
I've never seen this movie.
I know. In fact, you have a startling lack of Muppets at all. Like, there are not a lot of Muppet movies that you've seen, are there?
Yes. That era where they were making Muppets movies kind of happened at a time when I was, like, kind of too young. And then by the time I was old enough, like, there wasn't... Like, when did this movie come out?
This movie came out in 1992.
Yeah, that was the year I was born.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was 3 when it came out, so...
Yeah, but, you know, like... It's a big difference when, like, you... Because when you're 3, you vaguely have memories from when you're 3.
Yeah.
You know? And also, like, a movie comes out, you know, people still watch it 2 or 3 years later.
And my dad was a pretty big Henson fan, so...
Yeah. Muppets was weird because it was always something I kind of liked, you know, but then I think about it and I'm like, I don't actually ever remember watching the Muppets at all. The main thing about the Muppets is the ride at MGM. It's not there anymore.
Oh, yeah.
That was not even a ride. It was a 3D show, but it was good.
Well, I watched Muppet movies a lot.
Yeah.
We had this on VHS. We also had Muppet Treasure Island on VHS, and a couple of other ones also. And also we had season 1 of Fraggle Rock on DVD.
Never watched Fraggle Rock.
I love Fraggle Rock. Fraggle Rock is so good.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about Fraggle Rock is the fact that so there's like this framing device where the main character, his uncle, has gone to outer space, which is like the human world outside of Fraggle World.
Yeah.
And he's writing letters back to his nephew. And there are like little bits that are shot of him out in human world. And everywhere that this show was licensed, they did different bits with that uncle in like the local area. So yeah, so like the French one has him out in like Paris and stuff.
Sure,
and
yeah,
like every country that it aired in, like they had different production crews in that country.
That's cool.
Filming stuff that was like local to that place.
Yeah.
Rad as hell. I love Jim Henson.
That was the Radical Rock.
Yeah, absolutely was. But this is Muppet Christmas Carol. This movie came out in 1992. It is the 8th feature film. 8th? Made by Jim Henson's company. Although, like, the company has changed names a couple of times until it, like, finally settled on, like, Jim Henson Productions or whatever it is now.
They took Manhattan and they just wouldn't stop.
No, they wouldn't, yeah. This is the 4th Muppet movie because they were also making, you know, like, The Dark Crystal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Witches. The Henson Company was working on Witches, the Roald Dahl one.
The Roald Dahl one. It's funny. I have seen Dark Crystal. Like,
yeah.
That's one I have seen.
I love The Dark Crystal. Scared the bejesus out of me as a kid.
Have you seen the Netflix show?
I've not seen the Netflix show.
It's actually pretty good.
I keep meaning to watch. So, like, okay, hold on. We're tangent time.
Tangent time.
Give me 1 second because I have to look up a name because I don't want to get this wrong. 1 sec. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, one of the guys who worked on like set design and that kind of stuff is this guy named Toby Froud.
Yeah.
And he is the son of an artist, Brian Froud. And my dad was a huge fan of his. And so he had these big art books of Brian Froud, like prints and art pieces and stuff. And I can't describe them to you. They're all very like fairy and ethereal, but like dark and creepy and scary.
What did he work on?
Toby Froud.
Yeah.
Worked on the Dark Crystal TV show.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Very
and
cool.
And so, like, I remember as a child looking at these art books and, like, it, like, super influencing my tastes as far as, like, visual art and stuff goes.
Totally.
And so when I saw that Toby Froud was working on this, I was, like, really excited, and then I just kind of never really watched it.
Yep.
Anyway, so this is the 5th Muppet movie, and it is also the first to be released after Jim Henson has died.
That's sad.
Yes. We're going to be a little bit sad here for a minute in this Christmas episode.
Oh, no.
It goes. There's always a little bit of melancholy when it comes to
Tim, who did not die.
So Jim Henson died in 1990, complications due to a staph infection. And this movie also came out after the death of Jim Henson's longtime collaborator, Richard Hunt. Richard Hunt was openly gay and in a relationship, and he also died. He died in 1992, like before this movie came out. He died of complications due to AIDS.
That was, unfortunately, a very common thing at the time.
Yes. Richard Hunt was most well known for being Scooter in, like, the TV show. The Muppet.
Oh.
Yes, that's who that was, yeah.
I did not know that.
So this movie is dedicated to both Jim Henson and Richard Hunt.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was also originally supposed to be, like, a TV special.
Yeah.
The story goes that, like, there was... Oh, so this movie is directed by Brian Henson, who is Jim Henson's son. It is his first, like, big movie that he directed. He had done, like, episodes of TV shows before that, but... So the story goes that there was this talent agent who approached Brian Henson and said, you should do a Muppet Christmas Carol because the Christmas Carol is, like, one of the greatest stories ever made. And Brian Henson was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Sure.
They, like... The Henson Company has done Christmas specials before.
Yeah.
But they hadn't done like a feature-length movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they hired Jerry Jewell, who was like a longtime Muppet collaborator. He wrote a bunch of the other Muppet movies. Mm-hmm. So after the script was done and submitted, they were approached by the Walt Disney Company. And they're like, hey, we'll fund this if you want to make it a movie instead of a TV special.
Cool.
So they were like, yeah, why not?
Uncommon Disney win.
I know, right? Let's rein that back a second because there's a thing that we're going to talk about probably after we watch this movie.
Oh, no.
So this movie had a budget of roughly $12 million and grossed about $27 million in North America.
And that's just in the theater, right?
That was mostly in the theater. That also included some of the like aftermarket sales kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But this movie did much better in aftermarket stuff.
Yeah.
Like this movie was printed in VHS, on Laserdisc, on DVDs. There have been like multiple DVD prints for this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a truism. It's sort of common that holiday movies tend to not make a bunch of money in theaters. Mm-hmm. They tend to be more of a secondary market thing because every Christmas people watch it on TV or they rent the DVD or they put it on, VHS or whatever. Famously, It's a Wonderful Life was kind of a flop when it first came out, and it wasn't until later on when they started showing it on television that it kind of became like a Christmas classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it didn't do super well in the box office, but also, to be fair, that year it was up against Aladdin and Home Alone 2.
I mean, $12 million
is
budget,
pretty good.
and then you make 27. Like, obviously you make back you make back your marketing, all that kind of stuff, and then you have a long secondary market life. I'm sure it was fine. I'm sure it did fine.
So again, this is the directorial debut of Brian Henson, Jim Henson's son. Brian Henson was also the director for my favorite Muppet movie, Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah, with human Muppet Tim Curry.
Yeah. So this is considered a fairly faithful adaptation of Christmas Carol with only a few minor changes.
Yeah.
Some of the ones that are like just kind of cosmetic ones is that Mrs. Fozziwig is Fozziwig's instead of Fizzywig, it's Fozziwig. And it's his mother instead of his wife. I don't know why they didn't want to have Fozzie married, but they didn't.
Also, Cratchit's a frog.
Cratchit's a frog, yes. They split Jacob Marley into two people, so it's Jacob and Robert Marley.
Okay.
And they did that so they could have, partially for the joke. And also partially so that they could have Statler and Waldorf play the ghosts.
That's fun.
And there's also like a difference in the number of the Cratchit children. Like they're just fewer kids because they had like 6 kids and they didn't want to make 6 puppets.
You can't make. You have so many puppets to make.
And like there are a couple of other smaller things that we'll probably talk about after. Yeah. How familiar are you with the actual like A Christmas Carol, the actual thing?
Pretty familiar. Uh-huh. I read it once, like when I was in school, and then like I've seen a million adaptations.
Sure.
Of it, so I understand the story fairly well. Like I said, I read it once when I was like very young and in school, so I don't remember it super well. But like I understand a lot of it, and specifically this movie, I don't have a ton of knowledge about, but I know the memes.
Yeah.
No cheeses for the meeses.
No cheeses for the meeses.
Gosh, what are the other ones?
Oh, the fact that Scrooge walks out and the entire street starts singing, "Here comes Mr. Asshole, here comes Mr. Bitch."
Yeah. Yeah, so I know those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is A Christmas Carol to me. I will watch other versions of A Christmas Carol and be like, no, you didn't do it right.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen plenty of Christmas carols. I saw a play Christmas Carol
Oh
once.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, live action. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you can either do it good or you can fuck it up. But like, I don't know if you can really like transcend it. It's just like, look, you either do it good or you don't. But I mean, you know, I'm willing to see how this goes. I'm excited.
So this is the Christmas movie to me. Like, whenever I think about snuggling up with hot cocoa and watching a Christmas movie, it's always Muppet Christmas Carol.
Interesting.
And there is a song in this movie that I always think about when I think of Christmas music.
Oh.
My parents didn't really play a whole lot of Christmas music in our house. So, like, I never, and like, you know, as a child, I didn't really pay attention to the music that was playing in stores. So when people say, like, oh, I'm so tired of Christmas music, I'm like, what do you mean you're tired of Christmas music? It's Muppets. How can you get tired of that?
Yeah, it's Muppets. Who's Mariah Carey? I've never heard of her.
Never. Not once in my life.
No.
My sisters and I watched this movie a lot, and not just when it was seasonally appropriate.
Yeah.
We had it on VHS, and B, it was one of the few movies that all three of us could agree on.
Yeah.
If we wanted to watch a Disney princess movie, all three of us were going to be fighting about which one to watch because we all wanted to watch our favorites.
Yeah, there's a benefit of being an only child.
Yeah. But we could all agree on watching Muppet Christmas Carol or Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just in general, the Muppets.
Sure.
There is also a part of this movie that scared me so much as a kid that I would leave the room when it happened, and I will. I want you to guess when it happens, but also if we go, like, I'll probably just tell you.
Yeah. When you jump up and scream and run out of the room, I'll know that's when it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have deep connections to this movie, but I haven't watched it in quite a while, and so I'm very excited to watch it again, and I will do my best to not sing all of the songs.
I mean, I don't care. It's
I know,
fine.
but still.
I'm interested to see it. I'm a Michael Caine fan.
Ooh, he's so good.
And I read his autobiography.
Really?
Yes, I did. This was obviously years ago. So I read his autobiography that he wrote like before he was in like Batman. So like, you know, this was a long time ago.
Incomplete at the time, but
yeah. He did talk about making this movie in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see it. I've heard a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see all the cheeses and the meeces.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to see all my favorite Muppet characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gonzo.
He's there.
And Fozzie Bear.
Also there.
Sam the Eagle.
Yeah, he's there.
Nice.
All right, we're not going through the whole Muppets roster because there's so many of them.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
All right, we'll see you on the other side, friends.
Yeah, toodles.
Toodaloo.
It's such a sunny day, such a sunny day, such a sunny day, waves away.
And we're back.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Hannah, I was wrong.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I said basically like you can either do it good or mess it up, but like, you know, like that was better than good.
Yeah.
That was like actually like quite fucking excellent.
Right?
I have to say, I was quite impressed.
Yeah.
I had always heard it was good. Always.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like better than I was kind of expecting it to be.
This like set the standard for a Christmas Carol movies for me, and frankly for Christmas movies. There are a lot of times where I like watch Christmas movies and I'm like, my time would have been better spent watching a Muppet Christmas Carol.
I think it did a really good job of tone, I guess. Like,
yes.
You know, it's hard to kind of land that with something like Dickens. It's light and funny, but also is kind of serious. And, you know, I think it ended up, I think it works great.
Yeah, I think that they really nailed the tone, and like I adore the set design in this movie.
Yeah.
I love sound stages. I love movies on sound stages. The soundstage is a lost art to me.
Yeah.
It makes me sad and tired every time I see another goddamn green screen background. Give me miniatures and matte paintings all day long.
I would say the art direction in this movie is fantastic. Like, everything is beautiful. I loved in the part where it was in front of Scrooge's house. I made the joke. I was just like, I've played this level of Bloodborne, you know?
Yeah, the lane in front of Scrooge's house is really good. The bit in front of Bob Cratchit's house where everything is like a little bit askew.
Yeah, and like crooked and stuff. That
all sorts of weird angles.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the sort of like how well that they did the puppets and the live action. Like, it's pretty seamless.
Yeah, so one of the things that was like a difficulty with this movie was this is on a soundstage. They built this entire set.
Yeah, totally.
Everything.
You'd have to.
And part of the thing with that is that in order to have the puppeteers there to puppet the Muppets, they had to have parts of the floor that could be removed so that people could stand there and like have them at the right height. And in order to achieve that, in some cases there were times when Michael Caine had to walk like literally on like 1 2x4 through essentially an empty room. So like that first song when he's like walking down the street, like he has about 18 inches to like he's walking straight. Because if he can't step to either side because there are people there holding the puppets.
And you know, he's kind of looking down the whole time too, so you know, I'm sure it was safe.
I want to say really quickly the bit that scared me so much that I had to leave as a child. Statler and Waldorf.
The chains like pulling them into the dark was pretty good.
Especially because like I hadn't thought of it since I was a kid, but the fact that like Rizzo kept saying Jacob and Marley were dead to begin with, like you have to remember they are dead. They're dead.
Gonzo said that.
Gonzo said that. Sorry, they're dead. Like these are explicitly dead characters. And then they show up and they're all like a little bit ghostly, and they do the like woo, and then also the chains, and specifically the like locks, the big lock boxes. Those things freaked me out, and even now I was like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like the giant mouths on these weird metal boxes.
Honestly, the thing that creeped me out the most is the Ghost of Christmas Past with the weird face.
I love her.
That freaks me out.
She is my definitely top 5 Muppets. The Ghost of Christmas Present is my favorite Muppet ever, I think.
He's great.
How they did the Ghost of Christmas Past, apparently they created this whole puppet. And then they put it in water and they filmed it in water so it could get that ethereal floaty
I was
effect.
gonna say, I think they probably did that in liquid because the way it moved was not like air. It was very like flowy and fluid.
Apparently initially they tried to do it in mineral oil so that they could get like even like it would be like thicker. Like so like the movement would be slower, but it was too expensive to have a bunch of mineral oil, but then also like clean off the puppet in between takes, and they couldn't leave it in there because it would degrade too fast.
That makes sense.
This is just like I always think of it's in the singing of a street corner choir. Like, that's a Christmas song. That is the Christmas song to me. But also, like, you know, One More Sleep Till Christmas, and then, like, the song that they sing right at the end when Scrooge is, like, giving everybody presents and, like, pledging to be a better person. Like, those 3 are songs that, like, I hold in my heart as like, what it means to be, like, holding the spirit of Christmas to you.
I didn't realize that the sleeps till blank comes from this, probably. Really? I have to assume. Yeah, like, I always just saw the meme where it's just like, it's only blank sleeps till the new game comes out or whatever, you know, and I didn't realize that I think that comes from this, that, like, one more sleep till Christmas. That's pretty good. I think the music is great. The songs are fun. Like, you know, I enjoy them. And they do their job, you know. Not one of them to me is gonna light my like whole life on fire. I'm gonna at least listen to it a million times, but you know, they're fun and they're cute, and I can totally see how this would like really, you know, resonate.
There are a lot of like little jokes in this also that I remember from like being a child. Sam Eagle going, "It is the American way," and then like Gonzo coming over, "It is the British way." That and like a lot of the stuff between Gonzo and Rizzo, or Charles Dickens as he is in the show. Gonzo is credited as Charles Dickens in this movie, and I think that's great. The whole Dickens as like the narrator, and then Rizzo as the Greek
Yeah,
chorus.
they both are kind of together the Greek chorus. Yeah,
Yes.
which I think works really well for a story like this, that they're sort of, liminal in both in the story and out of it.
And I also like the weird liminal space that they occupy where they have to actively follow the story, but no one around ever really reacts to them,
Yeah.
except for when they directly interact with the story.
Yeah, absolutely. It's subtle, but I like how they do it. It's a very classic, like I said, it's Greek chorus.
Forever, it will ring in my head, light the lamp, not the rat, light the lamp, not the rat.
Yeah. You got Euripides going on in here. Hey, Euripides? Yeah, Eumenides?
Uh-huh.
My favorite ancient Greek joke.
Yep. I do want to talk about the actors, because, of course, we have to start with Michael Caine.
Yeah, so I just want to say a few words about Michael Caine. He's a fantastic actor. One of the things that I think is hard to sell about Christmas Carol is Scrooge's turn.
Yeah.
Him changing. And I think he really sells Scrooge the whole way through. I think that's hard to do, because it's like you have to make him evil and bad at the beginning, but then you have to sort of like make it believable that he would change throughout the course of the story.
In the course of one night, yeah.
Exactly. And I think that Scrooge, you get the idea that Scrooge, he's not like completely heartless. He's just like kind of a jerk, and like something is like sort of gunking him up. And then you see his past and you understand that.
Yeah, and there has to be enough in him that his nephew would be like, no, we can, like, he's still worth saving.
Yeah.
I should still go to him and wish him Merry Christmas.
Yeah, or even like, I think the idea with the nephew is, and it's not even so much that he's like, he thinks that Scrooge is redeemable in any way. It's more that he's just like, I'm choosing to do this because the spirit of Christmas compels me to do this. What you say doesn't affect that,
I'm going to continue to wish you a Merry Christmas no matter how humbug you are.
Exactly. And I think that that's wonderful. It's hard, like I said, it's really hard to sell the like, evil Scrooge brah humbug into like, oh, believably like changing overnight. And I think he does a really good job.
There were several like long shots of Michael Caine's face as Scrooge is watching scenes unfold, both in Christmas Past and in Christmas Present.
Yeah.
And you can see on his face the journey that he is making from like, oh, this is how I came to be this, and this is what people think of me, and I don't want that. I don't like that.
It's a personal journey. Like I think Christmas Carol, it's a morality play, obviously, but I think that I'm evil, bah humbug, and then, hey, if you're evil, bad shit's gonna happen. Oh, I repent, I change my ways. It's a little like, okay, sure, yeah, whatever. But no, I think this movie does a really good job of showing that human side of him, where it was like, he doesn't like Christmas. He's kind of a shithead because of the things that happened to him, because of his upbringing. He still can be a good person. You just have to remind him of humanity. And in a weird way, as it humanizes, obviously as it humanizes the character, and I love it, I also sometimes go like, man, Scrooge is actually like not cartoonishly evil enough for like real people. Yeah, like Scrooge is already too understandable and too relatable to be like a real life villain, because they're infinitely worse.
Yeah, there was someone who did like the math on it. Bob Cratchit made 15 shillings a week, adjusted for inflation. That's $530 a week, or $27,000 a year ish, which means that he makes about $13.50 an hour, and that was considered poverty wages.
Yes. Now I will say he is raising a family of 4 on one income.
6 in the novel, but yes.
Yes. So that's, the part of it.
Yeah.
And also, like, you could talk about inflation, but like buying power is such a like impossible thing to basically translate across hundreds of years. It's essentially
and different
impossible.
cultures. Yeah.
I remember. This is a bit of a tangent, but everything we do on here is. I was watching a video about like ancient Rome, about one of the triumphs for Julius Caesar, and he brought a bunch of silver to Rome, and he was like, look, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you how much the silver he brought was worth, because it's basically impossible, especially considering back then. But he gave the, like, in today's dollars, this much silver would be worth, and it was some, like, ungodly amount of number.
yeah.
And he was like, and you have to understand that, like, we have a world global economy now. Like, it was very, he brought so much silver that it almost crashed their economy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what happened when Spain started bringing silver in from the New World, too. They crashed the economy.
Yeah, they didn't realize that, you know, they didn't realize, unlike Rizzo, that scarcity drives the prices up.
Yeah. About Michael Caine in this movie, really quickly, there were several other actors that were considered before they settled on Caine.
Yeah.
And one of the people that they considered was comedian George Carlin, which would be a very different movie, but also I kind of want to see that.
It would be very different, but George Carlin being a crotchety old man is something we saw in real life,
yes,
so I
that's
think
true.
that would work actually pretty well.
Yeah. So when he was offered the role, Michael Caine said to Brian Henson, "I'm going to play this movie like I'm working with the Royal Shakespeare Company. I will never wink. I will never do anything Muppety. I'm going to play Scrooge as if it is an utterly dramatic role and there are no puppets around me."
I love it. No, absolutely. Michael, you understood the assignment. I love you.
He's so good. He's so good.
So good.
And he treats like all of the Muppets around him like with the respect that he would show other actors too, and it's perfect.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I was just thinking that he never winks at the audience. He never like makes a joke or anything like that. And I think that strengthens the plot. I think that strengthens the story. It's because it's about the personal journey. If he was making jokes and winking at the audience, then it's all fake. And it's all fake and dumb and not real. Like, you have to believe in the reality of it. Which is why I think having Gonzo and Rizzo playing the Greek chorus works so well. Is because they can wink at the audience.
Yes.
They can do that, but then kind of preserve the reality of the story.
They can make the joke that releases the tension, but not have Michael Caine do it, which would then undercut the seriousness of the movie. Yeah. He also said that he took inspiration for his character from Wall Street cheats and embezzlers.
Yeah!
Because they seemed like they were the pinnacle of meanness and greed.
Yeah!
Yeah.
You're right, Michael.
So we can go through a bunch of the people from the Henson Company, but if you've watched Muppets, you know them. All your favorites are here. It's everybody.
Yeah.
It's everybody that you remember from Muppet stuff before. Dave Goelz, Steve Whitmire, Jerry Nelson, Frank Oz, David Rudman, everybody. They're all like, these are the same people who have been doing Muppet stuff for a really long time. And in fact, as I was like doing some research for this, a really interesting thing that I found when I was looking at Richard Hunt on his Wikipedia page, they also listed the characters that he played, but then they also listed like the other people who played the characters after he passed.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I love that idea of like passing a character on to someone else.
Yeah, totally.
That I really quite like a lot. And especially because Kermit the Frog is in this, and traditionally Jim Henson would be Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
And so they had to have somebody new do it, basically.
Oh, so this was the first one with new Kermit the Frog
This was the first one with the first movie with new Kermit the Frog voice. Kermit the Frog had been in other things, being voiced by someone new.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. And you know what? That makes sense because this is the Kermit the Frog voice that I recognize from stuff that's later. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a character who's in this version of the movie for a very small amount of time. That is Belle, Scrooge's former love interest.
Oh, yeah.
So she was played by Meredith Braun. She was mainly a stage actress. Her second role was she played Eponine in Les Mis on the West End.
Nice.
Yes. She was in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
She was in Sunset Boulevard, Phantom of the Opera, The Secret Garden, like a lot of stuff. And she was in this movie in between doing a lot of that. Originally, she had a song in this movie.
Oh.
And it was called The Love Is Gone.
Ooh.
Yes. So that there's a bit where they're like, talking about that it's her scene, and she has this whole sad song about how Scrooge doesn't love her anymore, and that's why she's not marrying him. And then she walks away. And then there's the bit where Michael Crichton says, "Please go away. I don't want to see this sad stuff anymore." But the song was cut from the original theatrical run of the movie in 1992, and it was cut specifically by Jeffrey Katzenberg of the Walt Disney Company.
Why?
Because he said that children wouldn't like it. Now, it did get put on the US VHS release.
Okay.
Because I remember this song.
I see.
And I do remember not liking it very much, but not so much that I like stopped watching the movie.
You can't, attack his intuition on that.
Right.
Because he was right.
He was right that I didn't like it, but like I still watched this movie a bunch and I loved this movie a bunch. So it was on our VHS copy, but it was not on other VHS copies. It was not on all of them. And in fact, on most DVDs released before 2020, they had two versions. They would have the widescreen version, which did not have the song in it, and then the full screen version, which did. And that was because they lost the original negative for the movie at one point.
Ooh, bad.
Yeah. So the other thing that annoys me about the fact that they took the song out is that at the end there's the refrain, "The love is found."
Yeah.
And it is the whole circle for the story arc of Scrooge.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took the pivotal song out of the movie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I can understand that. It works without it. Like, the version we just watched didn't have it.
Correct.
We watched the widescreen version. And it works without it, but I can understand how it would be better if it had it in there.
Yes.
Even if you don't like the song, it works better if it's in, because it makes the whole story work better.
Yes, it does. So they did find the original negatives in 2020. The Disney archivists found it in the vault. And that should be the version that is on streaming. It is not the version that we just watched. We watched it on Prime Video, to be fair.
Yeah.
I would bet that the one with it in is on Disney Plus.
Oh, it's probably on Disney Plus. Yeah, probably.
And Brian Henson has said that any like 4K prints, all of them going forward, would also have that in. There's also on Prime Video, there's a version that has like bonus content. So I'm wondering if maybe that's the version on Prime Video that has.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I bet you that's it.
Yeah.
I bet you that's the bonus content.
But Meredith Braun apparently quite likes that song, because when she released her own album of like songs that she sings, and it had "The Love Is Gone" on it. I remember watching versions of this that had that song and also didn't have that song, and being very confused as a child of like, what is happening here?
Yeah. As an adult, stuff like that makes sense, but I know when you're a kid, I remember specifically like watching movies like on TV where they would cut things and just not understanding like, why would you do that?
Yeah. So Fred, Scrooge's nephew, is played by Steve McIntosh, who did have prior experience working with Henson Studios because he was in Jim Henson's Storyteller.
Oh.
Which is, it's a TV show that had like each episode was like a different like fairy tale, and I watched some of those, and then also I don't remember if it was the same storyteller, if there's like they did like different seasons or something, but there's one that was like fairy tales and then one that was like Greek myths.
Ooh.
And I remember watching both of those, and I would love to find DVD copies of them because they were really good and I liked them a lot.
Wow, very cool.
So he does have experience working with Muppets.
So yeah, like basically what I'm hearing is that a lot of these people were like in-house people for the Jim Henson company, like like
either in-house or like they did have like ties to Henson somehow. Yeah,
I say in-house meaning like the way that Edward Norton is in-house for Wes Anderson films.
Sure.
It's like he's just in all of them because he really likes working with them.
Yeah. Steve McIntosh has also had a vast career outside of the Muppet movies. He was in Rocketman, the Elton John biopic.
Okay. I've not seen that, although I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, and also there's this TV show called Wanderlust. It's a Netflix show with Toni Collette, and now I have to watch it because I love her.
I've heard about that. I don't know much about it, but I do remember people saying they liked it.
Yeah. And he was also in 2 of the Underworld movies as a character named Tanis. I don't remember who that is.
I was about to say, I watched the first Underworld and thought it was dreadful, and I don't remember any of the characters. God, it's bad.
It's very style over substance.
Yeah, but it's very not the style that I like.
That's fair. Clara, Fred's wife, was played by an actress named Robin Weaver. Also, they gave her a name for this movie. In the book, it's just Fred's wife.
Good.
Yeah. So they're like, her name's Clara.
Women deserve to be people.
Yeah. She was in a bunch of BBC productions. She was in the TV show The In-Betweeners as well as both of the movies. She was in Call the Midwife. She was in an episode of Black Mirror. She was in The Midsummer Murders and The Thick of It. She was also in Wanderlust. She's had a really active career.
It's funny because like we've done a lot of things that have British actors in it. We've done James Bond, and we did that, Ghost Watch and stuff like that. And I swear to God, I'm like, she's probably been in 5 things with people we've already talked about, because I know we've talked about the In-Betweeners. I know we've talked about Call the Midwife.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that they also both do a really good job of like working with Muppets.
I think the acting in this movie is tremendous. Mm-hmm. It is a tough thing to do, to make like a kids movie that's kind of fantastical and has Muppets and all that kind of stuff, but then also has like, it's not like too over the top and not too. It's a problem I have with kids movies so much, is that a lot of times, actors in kids movies are just like really over emoting, and they're just and people are like, well, that's just what kids want. And I'm like, I don't think that's true, though. And, like, Fred is flamboyant, and he's smiling, and he's jumping around, and he's like, Merry Christmas, but he's not, like, over-emoting. Like, I believe that a person could act like that.
Yes.
You know?
That little bit when, like, he's leaving initially, and he says Merry Christmas to Scrooge, and then Bob Cratchit says Merry Christmas, and then he whips around and says Merry Christmas to Bob Cratchit, too, and then leaves. I love that little bit.
Absolutely.
It's just such a little thing that's so great.
Yeah, and you get... Just in that, like, little exchange, you get the idea that, well, they've met before.
Yeah.
They know each other, and that they're friendly. They might not be friends, but that there is a, there is a relationship there. Mm-hmm. And I like that kind of stuff. I like those little subtle world-building moments.
I also love the scene in One More Sleep Till Christmas when all of the rats are shutting down the office, and they're all working together to, like, put the books away and sweep the floor, and, like, they're catapulting each other out the window to try and pull the shades down.
And they're doing a little steam bath.
They're doing a little steam bath.
It's
I
adorable.
love that.
Yeah.
And in that same song, there's also a really great and very subtle green screen shot when they're doing the penguin Christmas
like ice skating
thing. Yeah. So like it's hard because it's only on screen for a little bit, but you can see some of the people in the front are not on the same shot as the people in the back.
Yeah.
That's another thing that like it's good and it's well done and I love it. Kermit the Frog ice skating. You said at one point it's weird to see Kermit the Frog's legs.
It is.
And it is a little bit weird, but I love it. Every time you can see like the Muppets' legs, it makes me laugh. I love it
the
so
part
much.
Where Kermit's walking with Tiny Tim on his shoulder and they're doing like their jazz version of it's cute, but there's something very uncanny about Kermit's freaking leg. It's just very odd.
Yeah. I love that.
Sure.
Did I say on this podcast on this episode already that the Ghost of Christmas Past is my favorite Muppet?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, okay. He's my favorite Muppet.
Present.
Yeah. Ghost of Christmas Present is my favorite Muppet. I love his song. I was not as scared of the Ghost of Christmas Future as I was of Statler and Waldorf. I don't know why the big cowl was not, like the big empty cowl, I don't know why that was not as scary to me as the Ghosts in Chains.
You know, it's a little too big. I like it's a weird way to put it, but like sometimes things are scarier when they're more spindly and I don't know, human shaped. He just seemed like a big warm blanket. I don't know.
Yeah, Kermit's legs didn't freak me out, but Statler and Waldorf's legs did freak me out. I didn't like that you could see their legs and they were like kicking their legs all around as they were doing like dancing and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah, I get why. I really do. I would be lying if I didn't say that I grew up like not loving Christmas stuff, because I absolutely did. But I don't know. From a very young age, I kind of got into this funk where I was just like, Christmas, I don't like Christmas music, and I don't like, a lot of Christmas media. I don't know. Like I never liked Elf.
Oh, I've never seen it and I don't plan to because the bits that I've seen don't really appeal to me.
And like, there's a lot of like Christmas movies and other Christmas, related media I've just never enjoyed or never gotten into.
I've also never watched a big city lady goes to small town to help her ailing father and falls in love with Christmas tree farmer. I've never seen one of those movies, and again, I don't really plan to.
I mean, if you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
They're all essentially the same.
Yeah.
And we've watched enough, like YouTube videos talking about them to basically have seen them. Mm-hmm. There's really not much to them.
Yeah.
So, I could imagine if I had seen this when I was younger, I would have enjoyed it a lot. I would have thought that this was a really good one. The big one for me growing up was always Christmas Story.
Oh yeah.
I do really like Christmas Story, but it was always like, I didn't watch it except on Christmas because TBS would do the literally like 24 hours long. And so I would watch the whole movie multiple times over the day, but I didn't watch it all straight through. It was all just like in pieces throughout the course of the day.
Because it was just on.
It was just on, and then we would like fall asleep, and then you'd wake up in the middle of the night and it would be a random scene, and you'd fall asleep and you'd wake up and it would be another random scene. Like I think I didn't know what order that movie went in for years. It was just sort of like a sequence of things.
It has been a very long time since I've seen A Christmas Story.
Gosh, we might have to do that.
Yeah, if you want it for a Christmas episode. You don't have to, though.
We might have to. 'Cause I want to talk about the book.
The book?
Yeah, it's based on a book.
Oh, I think I knew that.
Yeah. The title of the book is hilarious, but it's In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash.
We were actually just talking about that the other day because my older sister was telling about the time that she got her tongue stuck on a cold.
That's
cold
right.
metal pole.
She did say that. Happy birthday to Hannah's sister, by the way.
Yeah, happy birthday. Oh man, I don't know what else to say except that this movie is great and you should watch it if you like Christmassy things.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing I'm going to mention.
Yeah,
and I should preface this by saying that I am not a religious person.
Yeah.
I am not a Christian. I am not, somebody who believes in that kind of stuff in either a real way or even a philosophical way. However, I think Christmas is a cultural thing for everybody who lives in America, lives in a lot of, comes from European, background, whatever kind of thing you want to talk about. And I think that this movie does a very good job of being reverent and respectful to Christmas in, I think, a religious way without being really preachy.
I agree with that. I think that there's a very fine line that they walk really well of reminding people that this is a holiday that has a deep religious aspect and a historical religious aspect, and the people at the time would have known it as a religious holiday.
Yeah.
And they do a good job of respecting that while not having a song that Christ is the reason for the season or something like
exactly.
that.
It's tough, so because I was just about to say I love Christmas Story. I just talked about that, but Christmas Story is a secular Christmas movie.
Yes,
it has nothing to do with religion at all. That's part of the reason why I kind of like it. It's because it's basically about the stuff you actually cared about when you were a kid. It was about getting toys and snow and presents and
the dogs running in and eating all of your Christmas food.
Yeah, and family, and it's wholesome and it's good.
The first time you swore in front of your dad.
Oh, yeah. That was after Boy Scout camp for me. We swore like sailors at Boy Scout camp. But we, it's wholesome. It's not irreverent, but at the same time, it basically just has nothing to do with religion at all. Nothing to do with Christian Christmas, that kind of thing. And even movies It's a Wonderful Life. There's angels in it, kind of, but it's not a religious movie, really.
Not really.
No,
yeah,
it vaguely whatever, and I appreciate that about it, is that it is sort of and this movie does it really well too. It's respectful, and it gets the heart of the celebration, the heart of the thing, without being over the top. So if you're somebody who has a bad taste in your mouth about Christianity for whatever reason, or you come from a background where you have problems with whatever church you came from, you can still enjoy this movie. You can still enjoy the lessons and the message. And honestly, fucking hell, man, just generosity and kindness.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the message is keep love in your heart for all of mankind.
I don't want to be, I'm not one to speak on theology or religion or anything like that, but fundamentally, isn't Christmas just about that? Isn't it? Isn't that what Jesus was talking about? Was just be good to each other? Wasn't that the main thing?
Meedly me.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, be excellent to each other.
Yeah, no, Hannah, that was
Bill and Ted.
That was Bill and Ted. I can see why you would be confused.
Yeah.
But Bill and Ted are not Jesus. Keanu Reeves, he kind of looks
like it, especially as he gets older.
That's what I'm saying.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
hold the people in your life close to you and keep generosity in your heart.
Yeah. And if you have the ability to summon ghosts, use them to terrorize rich people.
Please.
Yeah.
God, please, anybody. Please.
What's the index on those Seattle witches?
I don't know where we are currently,
Yeah.
but maybe they can curse Bezos or Musk.
They
or
got
someone.
the Mariners into the playoffs. They did pretty
Oh,
well.
they did?
They didn't get them into the World Series.
Sure.
But they got them pretty far.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe if they all focus, they can get that creepy little floaty doll lady to go visit.
like Jeff Bezos,
Jeff
or
Bezos,
something.
yeah.
God. Oh, that would be lovely. One of these days.
See, here's the thing is that I don't think that any of those guys have the capacity to change in the same way that Scrooge did. Like, at this point, the whole world is saying you're a jerk. Like,
Yeah.
Billie Eilish said to fucking Mark Zuckerberg's goddamn face, "Why are you a billionaire? Everybody hates that you're a billionaire. Give away your money." And he was like, "This couldn't be about me." So like, I don't think that any of them have the capacity to change.
As I said, I'm forever sad that we did not see the MMA fight between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, because Mark Zuckerberg would have kicked his ass.
Oh, yeah.
And then he might have felt a human emotion, and that might have fixed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have either have fixed him or made him go like crazy with bloodlust, and then that would have just been funny for another reason.
Yeah.
So, hey. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right. Man, I wish I had a Christmas outro song.
I mean, do you just want to play a bunch of jingling bells? I bet our
We
roommate,
kind of do.
I was going to say, I bet our roommate Neil has a bunch of bells that you could jingle.
Well, in our outro song, there are
there
bells.
are bells, yeah.
Anyway, all right, bye.
Yeah, bye. Be good to each other.
Or I'll fucking send ghosts out.
Thanks for listening. You can find us at mythingyourthing.com or at mythingyourthingpod on social media. Thanks to RK Maroon for letting us use their song Macaroni Art from the EP You Can't Eat Horses. You can get it at rkmaroon.bandcamp.com. If you have a thing you think we should talk about, email us at mythingyourthingpod@gmail.com, and maybe that could be our thing.